Ethan Harper wiped the sweat from his forehead as he stepped out of the shuttle. The jungle stretched endlessly before him, thick and alive, with trees that rose higher than any building on Earth. Strange, glowing plants dotted the forest floor, casting a greenish light even in the dim morning haze. Birds with metallic feathers screeched overhead, and the air smelled both sweet and heavy. Every step Ethan took seemed to sink slightly into the damp soil, and the sounds of the jungle echoed like whispers. He glanced at the small group behind him. Mia, his second-in-command, adjusted her backpack and frowned. "Ethan, are you sure this is safe? The scanners are acting strange. I've never seen a jungle block signals like this before." Ethan smiled faintly, trying to hide his excitement. "That's exactly why we are here. Signals or no signals, there's something in this jungle that no one has found for centuries. And I have a feeling it's big." The crew exchanged nervous looks. They had traveled far, farther than any human crew had dared before. The planet, called Zathera by the Galactic charts, was known for its harsh jungles and ancient ruins. Most species avoided it, claiming it was cursed or haunted. But humans had always been curious, and Ethan was no ordinary explorer. He had a mind that worked differently. Where others saw danger, he saw a puzzle waiting to be solved. As they moved deeper into the forest, the air grew thicker. Strange vines twisted around enormous trees, some glowing faintly with a blue light. Ethan crouched and examined one of the vines. Its surface was smooth but warm, almost like it was alive in a way that plants shouldn't be. He reached out to touch it, and immediately felt a pulse, like a heartbeat, running through it. He withdrew his hand slowly, amazed. "This jungle, it's alive in ways we don't understand," he whispered. The crew continued, their steps careful and deliberate. Every now and then, Ethan caught glimpses of something moving in the trees, shadows that seemed to watch them, too quick to be birds or animals. Mia whispered, "I don't like this, Ethan. It feels like something is waiting." Ethan nodded, not taking his eyes off the shadows. "Maybe it is. But waiting doesn't always mean attacking. Sometimes it's just watching. And we can learn a lot from being watched." Hours passed, and the jungle only grew denser. They stopped to rest by a small stream, its water clear and surprisingly warm. Ethan knelt and cupped the water in his hands, drinking slowly. He noticed tiny creatures moving beneath the surface, almost like glowing fish, but their shapes were unfamiliar. The ecosystem here? It's advanced, but untouched. Something big is hiding in this jungle, and it isn't just the plants or animals. Mia leaned against a tree, exhaustion showing on her face. "Do you really think it's a city? Or ruins?" Ethan shook his head slowly. "Not a city. Something older. Something the galaxy has forgotten, maybe even older than the Zitrians." The mention of the Zitrians made the crew tense. They were the dominant species in this sector of the galaxy, known for their advanced technology and ruthless nature. Ethan had learned not to underestimate them, but he had also learned that the Zitrians underestimated humans far too often. That underestimation would be his advantage. Suddenly, a high-pitched mechanical laugh echoed through the trees. Ethan froze. The sound was shrill, mocking, and filled with a cruel intelligence. He turned slowly, trying to locate its source. In the distance, high above the trees, small ships hovered silently. The shapes were unmistakable, Zitrian patrols, observing him, laughing at his presence. One of the aliens' voices crackled over the comms in a tone that dripped with amusement. "Human, what are you doing here? This jungle is not for your kind. Go home before you get lost forever." Ethan clenched his jaw, staring up at the ships. "They still don't understand," he muttered. "They think humans are weak. They think curiosity and courage are our flaws. They're wrong." Mia looked at him nervously. "Ethan, maybe we should leave. We're not ready to face them yet." Ethan shook his head. "No, we came here for discovery, not safety. Every great achievement comes with risk. He adjusted his pack and started moving deeper into the jungle. The crew hesitated but followed. Hours turned into days as they pressed forward. The jungle seemed endless, twisting and turning in patterns that made navigation difficult. Ethan marked their path with small, glowing markers, careful not to disturb the ecosystem more than necessary. At night, the jungle came alive with strange sounds, screeches, growls, and whispers that seemed almost human. The crew huddled together in their tents, uneasy, while Ethan sat outside, staring at the faint lights in the trees. One evening, while tracing a faint ridge, Ethan stumbled upon a series of ruins partially covered by vines and moss. His heart pounded. The stone structures were unlike anything he had ever seen, angular, smooth, and massive, with strange glyphs etched deep into the walls. "Mia," he called softly. "Come here. You need to see this." Mia approached slowly, awe written on her face. "It's incredible. How old could this be?" Ethan knelt beside one of the glyphs, brushing away centuries of dirt. "Older than any civilization we know. Older than the Zetrians themselves. Whoever built this, they weren't like any species we've encountered." As they explored, Ethan noticed a faint outline beneath the vines. It was metallic, enormous, and partially buried. His pulse quickened. This isn't a ruin, it's a ship." Mia gasped. "A ship? Here? Buried in the jungle?" Ethan nodded, crouching to examine the edges. The metal was unlike anything humans had ever built, but strangely, he could sense the logic in its design. "It's dormant, but it's alive, in a way, and I think I can wake it." The crew exchanged nervous glances. The thought of awakening something so powerful was frightening, but Ethan's eyes were alight with determination. "This is our chance," he said. "The Zetrians laughed at us, mocked our species for being fragile and weak. But they didn't count on human ingenuity. They never do." For days, Ethan worked on understanding the ship. Its controls were strange, with glyphs that seemed to shift when he touched them. The ship was enormous, spanning hundreds of meters, hidden beneath layers of jungle and time. Ethan noticed patterns, the way light reflected off certain panels, the way some symbols seemed to resonate with sound. He started creating a system, a combination of observation and intuition, slowly decoding the ancient technology. Meanwhile, the Zetrians continued to observe from orbit. Their mocking laughter turned to frustration. "How can a human even comprehend this?" one of them hissed. "This is beyond their species." Ethan ignored them. Each day brought small victories. A panel would open here. A mechanism would respond there. Slowly, the dormant energy of the ship stirred. Lights flickered along its hull, soft hums vibrating through the ground. The jungle seemed to respond, as if it recognized the awakening. Mia watched him one evening, awe and concern mixed in her eyes. "Ethan, this is incredible, but dangerous. We have no idea what this ship can do." Ethan looked up at the canopy, the faint glow of alien stars filtering through. "I know, but humans were never meant to sit back and wait. We are builders, thinkers, explorers, and sometimes we have to take risks to prove what we are capable of." The jungle seemed alive that night, whispering secrets as Ethan worked tirelessly. The hum of the ship grew louder, resonating through the soil, through the trees, through the very air. The Zetrians could sense it from orbit, their amusement now replaced with disbelief. The human was not just surviving, he was commanding something they couldn't. Finally, after days of careful work, Ethan reached a point where the ship responded fully to his presence. A soft glow enveloped the hull, and the hum became a steady, low vibration, like a heartbeat. He stepped back, breathing heavily. "It's awake," he whispered, "and it's ours to understand." Mia joined him, eyes wide. "We need to be careful, Ethan. This changes everything." Ethan nodded, staring at the enormous vessel hidden in the jungle. "Yes, and the galaxy will never see humans the same way again." From orbit, the Zetrians watched silently, their confidence shaken. The human had turned their mockery into something powerful, something they could not control or predict. Ethan looked at the jungle around him, at his small but brave crew, and for the first time felt the weight of what humanity could become. This was only the beginning. The jungle had hidden the warship for centuries, waiting for the right mind to awaken it. And that mind belonged to a human. He smiled, a mix of pride and determination. The galaxy would soon learn that humans were not to be mocked. They were to be feared, respected, and admired for their ingenuity and courage. The jungle whispered around him, alive with the pulse of the ancient warship, and Ethan Harper, human explorer, stood ready to prove that his species had the power to rise above any challenge. Ethan Harper stood at the edge of the massive warship, its hull glowing softly under the jungle canopy. The hum of energy vibrating through the ground made his chest feel alive with anticipation. He had awakened the ship, but that was only the beginning. Inside it lay mysteries, technology, and power beyond anything humanity had ever imagined. "Ethan, are you sure we should go in?" Mia asked, her voice trembling slightly. She looked at the enormous entrance, half buried in vines, its doors sealed with strange symbols. "We don't know what's waiting for us inside." Ethan smiled faintly. "That's exactly why we should. Humans are explorers. We learn by seeing, by touching, by understanding. Fear isn't the same as caution, Mia. We'll be careful." He pushed forward, brushing aside the vines that covered the entrance. With a hiss, the massive doors responded to his touch, sliding open slowly. A cold rush of air escaped, carrying with it the scent of metal and something old, ancient, and powerful. The crew hesitated, staring into the darkness beyond. Inside, the warship was larger than Ethan had expected. Its interior stretched far beyond the entrance, with high ceilings and walls that glowed with faint, pulsating lines. Strange machines hummed silently, and panels of glowing glyphs shifted when he approached them. It was as if the ship were alive and aware of their presence. "This is incredible," Mia whispered. "It's like the ship knows we're here." Ethan nodded, running his hands along one of the control panels. The surface felt warm under his touch, vibrating lightly. Symbols moved in response to his fingers, rearranging themselves into patterns that seemed to make sense only to him. "It's responding to logic, not strength," he said. "We have to think, not fight, to understand it." The crew followed him cautiously. Liam, the ship's engineer, examined the machinery with wide eyes. "I've never seen anything like this. Even our best technology doesn't come close. This is beyond our understanding." Ethan studied a holographic map projected from the control panel. It showed the ship's structure, multiple decks, chambers filled with unknown devices, and massive engines capable of moving through space with unimaginable speed. "This ship could change everything," he whispered. "Not just for humans, but for the entire galaxy. And the Zetrians, they'll never expect it." As they moved deeper inside, the ship seemed to guide them. Doors opened as they approached, hallways illuminated by soft blue light. It was as if the vessel recognized Ethan, the human who had awakened it, as its master. Suddenly, a loud thrum echoed through the ship, shaking the floor slightly. Lights flickered and panels flashed in warning. The crew froze, hearts pounding. "What is it?" Mia asked, gripping Ethan's arm. Ethan shook his head, his eyes scanning the room. "I don't know yet, but the ship is alive, and this is its way of communicating. Stay calm. Let's see what it wants to show us." They entered a massive chamber filled with strange devices and panels. In the center was a console, larger than anything Ethan had ever seen. Symbols floated above it in mid-air, shifting constantly. Ethan stepped closer, placing his hands on the surface. Immediately, the symbols rearranged themselves into a pattern he could understand. "It's teaching us," he whispered. "It wants us to know how to control it." The crew watched in awe as Ethan interacted with the controls. Slowly, a holographic projection appeared above the console. It showed a star map, countless systems, and a small fleet of ships scattered across the galaxy. Ethan realized this ship had been part of a larger civilization, one that had existed long before the Zitrians. "This ship? It's a command vessel," Ethan said, his voice trembling with excitement. "It could lead fleets. It could change the balance of power in the galaxy." Mia looked at him, fear and awe mixed in her eyes. "Do you think it's safe?" "The Zatrians, they're watching. They mocked us, but now they might try to stop us." Ethan shook his head. "They'll come, eventually. But for now, we have time. Time to learn. Time to understand. And when they see what a human can do, they'll have to rethink everything." Hours passed as Ethan worked with the controls, understanding the ship's systems, the engines, the weapons, the navigation. It was all complex, but not impossible. The human mind, he realized, could solve puzzles even the most advanced alien intelligence struggled with. Suddenly, the ship shuddered again. This time it was stronger, almost like a heartbeat pounding through the metal. Lights flashed across the walls, and a low hum filled the chamber. The crew looked at each other nervously. "It's alive," Liam said quietly. "More alive than anything I've ever seen." Ethan nodded. "Yes, and it trusts us, if we can understand it. This is why humans survive. We adapt. We think. We don't give up, even when everything seems impossible." He moved to another console, examining strange glyphs that controlled energy distribution throughout the ship. As he touched them, a soft voice resonated in his mind, not words, but ideas. The ship was communicating through thought, guiding him to learn its functions. Mia stared at him in disbelief. "It's communicating with you?" Ethan smiled. "Not just me, but humans in general. We can understand patterns, logic, solutions. That's why we survived on Earth, why we explore, why we fight. The ship recognizes that." As they explored further, they discovered the ship's armory. Weapons far beyond human technology lined the walls. Energy cannons, missile systems, shields that could withstand any attack known to the galaxy. Ethan felt a surge of pride. Humans, long mocked as weak and fragile, now had the tools to match any alien power. "This is incredible," Mia said, her voice trembling. "We could defend Earth, any human colony, anything." Ethan nodded. "And maybe one day we will, but first, we learn, we understand. Then, we decide how to use this power." They continued to explore, entering a chamber filled with data archives. Holographic records showed the history of the civilization that had built the ship. They had fought wars, conquered galaxies, and then disappeared. Their technology remained hidden in jungles, waiting for someone capable of understanding it. "This civilization, they were brilliant," Ethan said, scanning the records. "And now, humans can continue their legacy, or start a new one." As night fell over the jungle outside, the ship seemed to glow brighter. Its energy hummed through the walls, filling every corner of the massive vessel. The crew slept fitfully in the chambers, exhausted by the day's discoveries. Ethan remained awake, sitting at the console, studying the star maps and projections. He realized that the Zitrians were no longer just observers. They would come sooner or later to see what the human had discovered. But by then, he would be ready. Humans had always been underestimated, and that underestimation had become their greatest strength. Ethan imagined the galaxy watching, thinking humans were weak and fragile. They would laugh at first, and then they would fear. The next morning, Ethan gathered the crew. "We have to start testing the ship, understanding its capabilities, its speed, its defenses. The jungle hides us for now, but eventually, the Zitrians will see." Liam nodded, excitement replacing fear. "I can't wait to see what this ship can do. Humans built many things, but nothing like this. With this, we could change everything." Mia frowned slightly, worry in her eyes. "We also need to be careful. If the Zitrians attack, we're responsible for the consequences. The galaxy could go to war over this ship." Ethan looked at her, calm but determined. "Humans have faced worse odds and survived. We'll be careful, yes. But we won't hide either. We explore. We fight if we must. And we survive, because that is what humans do." They spent days testing the ship, small movements at first, lifting off slightly from the jungle floor. Energy systems activated, weapons tested in simulations, shields adjusted. Ethan marveled at how intuitive the ship was, responding to logic and thought rather than brute force. One day, as they were exploring the ship's bridge, a message flashed on the main console. Symbols appeared in a language none of them had seen, glowing with urgency. Ethan approached, studying the patterns. Slowly, he realized it was a warning. "The Zitrians know we are here," he said quietly. "They are coming." Mia's eyes widened. "So soon? We haven't even fully explored the ship." Ethan nodded. "I know, but this is exactly why we needed to understand it. Humans survive by adapting. We don't run, we learn, and we fight when we must." The crew prepared themselves, studying every system, learning the ship's capabilities. The jungle outside seemed to hold its breath, as if it too understood the importance of what was happening. Ethan felt a surge of pride, not just in himself, but in his crew, in humanity itself. The Zitrians had mocked him. They had laughed at humans for being weak, but soon they would see the truth. Humans could think, create, adapt, and survive where others would fail. And the galaxy would never be the same again. Ethan Harper stood on the bridge of the ancient warship, his hands resting lightly on the controls. The vessel hummed beneath him, alive and powerful, waiting for the moment it would show the universe what humans were capable of. And Ethan knew, deep in his heart, that humans would rise to that challenge. Ethan Harper stood at the command deck of the ancient warship, his hands lightly touching the smooth panels that pulsed with energy. The ship hummed under his fingers, responding to his thoughts and gestures. Every light, every symbol, every vibration seemed to recognize him, not as an intruder, but as a human capable of understanding its ancient design. The crew moved quietly around him, still amazed by what they had accomplished. Liam was checking the energy output, making careful notes, while Mia studied the ship's defense systems on the holographic displays. They had spent days learning the controls, testing small systems, and understanding the basics. But now, Ethan knew it was time to awaken the ship fully. "This is it," Ethan said softly, almost to himself. "The moment humans show what we can do." Mia looked at him nervously. "Are you sure? Once we do this, the Zitrians will notice. They'll see everything. They might attack immediately." Ethan shook his head. "They already know. They've been watching. But we can't hide forever. Humans survive because we act when it matters. And now, it matters." He moved to the main control console and placed his hands on the central panel. The ship responded instantly. Lights along the hull brightened, energy lines traced across the deck, and a low vibration ran through the floor. Ethan's heart raced. This was more than technology. It was alive, a living relic of a forgotten civilization. Liam whispered, "I've never felt anything like this. It's incredible. It's like the ship knows what we want before we even think it. Ethan nodded, focusing on the controls. The engines roared softly as energy surged through them. Panels on the walls displayed star maps, fleet positions, and weapon systems. Ethan realized the warship had the capability not just to move through space, but to command other ships, project power across entire systems, and even defend against fleets many times larger than any human vessel. This ship, it's a weapon, a command center, and a shield all in one, Ethan said, his voice low. And it's ours to learn, to control, and to use wisely. Mia's eyes widened. If the Zetrians see this, they'll understand that humans are more dangerous than they thought. Ethan smiled faintly. Exactly. They've laughed at us, mocked our species for being weak, but they didn't understand human potential, and now they will. He activated the navigation systems, running simulations to see how the ship would respond in space. The vessel lifted slightly, hovering above the jungle floor. Its shields glimmered, projecting a subtle protective barrier around the ship. Ethan watched, amazed at how smoothly it moved, as if it had waited centuries for someone capable of commanding it. Suddenly, the communication system buzzed. A holographic projection appeared in the center of the deck, the Zetrians. Their faces were twisted with surprise, anger, and disbelief. "Human," one of them hissed. How did you awaken that vessel? It has been dormant for centuries. You cannot control it." Ethan stepped forward, his voice calm and confident. "I'm not controlling it with strength. I'm understanding it. Humans survive because we think, because we adapt, because we learn. Something you never expected. Something you always ignored." The Zetrians glared, their pride wounded. "This is impossible. You are a weak species. You should not have this power." Ethan smiled. "Weak? No. Humans survive because we never give up. We find solutions where others see only walls. And now, we have the means to protect ourselves, to defend our species, and to explore the galaxy." The Zetrians hissed angrily and attempted to hack the ship's systems remotely. Energy pulses flared along the walls, warning lights flashing. Liam quickly analyzed the intrusion. "They're trying to override the controls, but it's not working. The ship isn't responding to them." Ethan nodded. "It trusts humans, not them. Their technology may be advanced, but it cannot match adaptability, creativity, and problem-solving. That is why humans survive." The warship lifted completely from the jungle, engines roaring as energy shields flared around it. Ethan guided it slowly upward, the massive vessel moving with surprising grace. The Zetrians' ships attempted to intercept, but every move they made was countered by the warship's intuitive systems. This is unbelievable," Mia whispered. "They can't touch us." Ethan looked at the stars beyond the jungle canopy. "Humans were never meant to be underestimated. We are not the weakest. We are the species that adapts, survives, and rises above challenges. This ship, it shows that. And the Zetrians will learn it too." Hours passed as Ethan tested the warship's capabilities. Its weapons responded instantly, targeting asteroids and space debris with precision. Shields projected over the jungle, forming protective barriers that would have been impossible for any human-built vessel. Every system seemed designed to work with logic, intuition, and human reasoning. "Ethan," Liam said, excitement in his voice, "this ship could take on an entire fleet. We could defend Earth or any human colony against anything the Zetrians send." Ethan nodded. "That's the point. Humans survive not because we are strongest, but because we can think, create, and act when others cannot. And now, we have the tools to prove it." As the warship stabilized above the jungle, a sudden alert flashed on the console. The Zetrians were preparing an attack, sending multiple ships in formation. Ethan studied their fleet carefully, noting patterns, weaknesses, and possible strategies. They think numbers and firepower will win, he said. They don't understand strategy. They don't understand ingenuity. We will show them what humans can do. The first Zetrian ship fired, a beam of energy slicing toward the warship. Ethan activated the shields, deflecting the attack. The energy flared brightly, illuminating the jungle below. The crew watched in awe as the warship absorbed the attack effortlessly. "They can't break it!" Mia shouted. "It's incredible!" Ethan smiled, focusing on the controls. "This is just the beginning. Humans survive because we adapt. And now, we fight back." He guided the ship forward, firing a calculated shot that destroyed one of the Zetrian vessels without harming the jungle below. The beam was precise, controlled, and devastating. The Zetrians recoiled, shocked that a human could wield such power. "They underestimated us," Ethan said quietly. "They always do. But humans survive because we never stop, never give up, and never back down." The battle continued, Ethan demonstrating the warship's full capabilities. Each move was precise, calculated, and clever. The Zetrians' fleet, confident in their superiority, was gradually overwhelmed by the human-led vessel. They tried new strategies, but the warship adapted instantly, countering every attack with ingenuity and precision. Mia and Liam watched in amazement as the warship moved with uncanny intelligence. "It's like the ship is alive," Liam said. "It's thinking, reacting, learning." Ethan nodded. "It recognizes humans as its rightful commanders. It knows our potential. And now, the Zetrians will know it too." As the battle drew to a close, the Zetrian fleet retreated, battered and humiliated. Ethan guided the warship back to the jungle clearing, lowering it gently to the ground. The crew cheered quietly, relief and pride filling the air. Mia looked at Ethan, her eyes wide. You did it. You showed them, humans. We're not weak. We're incredible." Ethan smiled, exhausted but proud. "Humans survive because we think, because we adapt, because we never stop. The Zetrians mocked us, but now they know. They will never forget it." The jungle seemed to respond to their victory, the hum of the warship blending with the whispers of the forest. The vessel had awakened fully, alive and powerful, ready to serve humans as they explored the galaxy. Ethan looked at the stars above, thinking of the challenges ahead. The Zetrians would recover, other species would watch, and humanity's place in the galaxy would change forever. But he felt no fear. Humans were resilient, clever, and capable of more than anyone had believed. And now, armed with knowledge, power, and ingenuity, they were ready to rise. The warship glowed softly in the jungle night, a symbol of human potential. Ethan Harper stood at the bridge, calm and determined. Humans had been underestimated for too long, and now, the galaxy would see what humans were truly capable of. The first step had been taken, the warship was awake, and with it, humanity's rise had begun. Ethan Harper watched the jungle fall away beneath the massive warship as it lifted into the sky. The glow from the engines lit up the dense forest, casting long shadows across the trees. Below, his crew clung to the observation platforms, eyes wide with wonder and apprehension. They had already proven themselves against the Zetrians' initial attempts, but now it was time to show the galaxy what humans could do. Mia leaned close to Ethan, her voice tight with excitement. "Are we ready for this? I mean, out there, beyond the planet?" Ethan's eyes scanned the stars. "We have to be. The Zetrians are strong, yes. But humans survive because we adapt, think, and act. And the universe has never seen a human act like this before." Liam, standing near the engine controls, spoke with a grin. "It feels incredible. The ship responds to us. It's not just power, it's precision. We can take on fleets if we need to." Ethan nodded. "Exactly. Humans were never meant to hide or be afraid. Our species survives because we confront challenges we weren't supposed to overcome. This ship gives us the chance to prove that on a galactic scale. The ship left the atmosphere of the jungle planet and entered space. Stars stretched infinitely ahead, and the vast emptiness seemed to hum with potential. Ethan activated the navigation systems, and the warship moved smoothly, almost as if it had been waiting for someone to guide it. Suddenly, a holographic warning flashed on the main console. A Zetrian fleet had entered the system, alerted by the disturbances from the jungle. Their numbers were large, at least 20 ships, all heavily armed. The crew tensed, realizing this would be the first true test of the warship's power. "They're here!" Mia whispered, fear and awe mixed in her voice. "They're coming to stop us." Ethan's jaw tightened. They thought they could intimidate us. They thought their numbers and technology would make humans weak. But they underestimated us. And that mistake will cost them. The Zetrians opened communications, their voices harsh and mocking. "Human," one hissed, "leave this system immediately. Your species is weak. You cannot control that vessel. Return to your planet before we destroy you." Ethan stepped forward, calm and steady. "We are not weak. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and rise above challenges. This ship is not just technology. It is proof of what humans are capable of. If you attack, you will learn the same lesson we learned centuries ago. Do not underestimate humanity." The Zetrians hesitated, uncertainty flickering across their faces. They had believed humans fragile, weak, and unprepared, but the human before them, commanding a warship of unimaginable power, challenged everything they thought they knew. Ethan gave the crew their orders. "Liam, shields to full capacity. Mia, weapons on standby. We test precision first, not destruction. Show them that humans are calculated, not reckless." The warship responded instantly. Energy fields expanded, shimmering around the vessel, and weapon systems came online. Ethan guided a small, precise test attack, hitting an asteroid near the fleet with a beam that destroyed it instantly. The blast was controlled, demonstrating power without unnecessary destruction. The Zetrians gasped. "Impossible!" one shouted. "No human could do that!" Ethan smiled. "Humans do the impossible every day. We survive, adapt, and overcome. And now, we are showing you why." The battle escalated. Zetrian ships attacked in waves, firing energy beams and missiles. The warship responded, deflecting attacks with shields, neutralizing projectiles with precise countermeasures, and moving with speed and agility that no human-built vessel had ever achieved before. Liam shouted in awe. "They can't hit us! The ship adapts faster than anything I've ever seen." Ethan's focus was steady. "That's because humans think. We plan, adapt, and act. We don't rely on brute strength alone. We use intelligence, creativity, and strategy. And that makes us unstoppable when we work together." The crew watched as Ethan guided the warship, each move calculated, each response precise. A Zetrian ship fired a massive energy blast, aiming directly at the warship's hull. Ethan activated a combination of shields and energy deflectors, redirecting the attack harmlessly into space. "They didn't expect humans to be clever," Ethan said quietly. "They only counted on fear. But we don't give up, we don't surrender. We rise." Mia grinned, a mixture of fear and pride in her eyes. "Ethan, this is incredible." "Humans, we're proving them wrong on every level." Ethan nodded. "Yes, this is what humans do. We survive, even when the odds are against us, and we inspire others by showing that survival is not just about strength, it's about willpower, intelligence, and courage." The Zetrians attempted to regroup, sending a squadron to flank the warship. Ethan anticipated their strategy, guiding the vessel in a calculated arc that neutralized the flank without excessive force. The warship's systems responded instinctively, recognizing patterns, predicting attacks, and countering with precision. Liam laughed in disbelief. "It's like the ship is alive. It's thinking with us, not just for us." Ethan smiled, proud of both the ship and his crew. "It's alive because humans understand it. Other species rely only on power. Humans rely on mind, heart, and strategy. That is why we survive." Hours passed as the warship continued its defense and counterattacks. Each move was measured, precise, and devastatingly effective. The Zitrians, confident in their numbers and technology, were gradually overwhelmed, forced to retreat after suffering losses and humiliation. Mia exhaled deeply. They're running. We actually beat them." Ethan looked at the fleeing fleet, calm and thoughtful. "Not just beat them. We showed them that humans are unpredictable, intelligent, and capable. They underestimated us, and that is their mistake." Liam shook his head in amazement. "I never imagined humans could do this. I mean, we've always known humans were clever, but this is beyond anything." Ethan nodded. "Humans survive because we never stop thinking, never stop learning, never stop adapting. Every challenge, every mockery, every attack we've faced has made us stronger, and now the galaxy will see what we are capable of." As the warship returned to the jungle planet, the crew began exploring further. They had only scratched the surface of its capabilities. Energy weapons, defensive shields, propulsion systems, all of it responded to human logic and intuition. Ethan realized that with this ship, humanity could change the balance of power in the galaxy, but he also understood the responsibility. "We have power now," he said quietly, "and with power comes responsibility. Humans have survived because we act wisely, not recklessly. This ship is a tool, a protector, and a symbol. We must use it carefully." Mia approached him, eyes serious. "Do you think the Zetrians will come back?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, they will. And so will others. But we are ready. Humans are not weak. We survive, we adapt, we overcome, and we fight when we must." The warship settled back on the jungle clearing, its engines humming softly. The crew gathered around Ethan, looking at him with pride and awe. They had seen humans underestimated, mocked, and dismissed, and now they had witnessed what humans could do when underestimated. Liam clapped Ethan on the shoulder. "You did it! You showed them! Humans! We're more than anyone expected." Ethan smiled, looking at the crew, then at the warship. "Yes, and this is only the beginning. The galaxy will know that humans are clever, brave, and resilient. They will learn that we survive because we never give up, never surrender, and never stop thinking." Mia nodded, her fear replaced by pride. "We'll have to be careful. Others will come, drawn by the power of this ship." Ethan's eyes gleamed. "Let them come. Humans are ready. We survive, we fight, we adapt, and we rise." The stars above the jungle shone brightly, reflecting in the warship's hull. Ethan Harper stood on the command deck, calm and determined, knowing that humans had turned mockery into power, fear into respect, and underestimation into triumph. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. And with the ancient warship fully awakened, humanity's rise had begun. Ethan Harper stood at the bridge of the ancient warship, the glow of the control panels reflecting in his eyes. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to what humans had accomplished. The Zitrians had retreated for now, their arrogance shattered, but Ethan knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would hear about humanity, and it would change everything. Mia leaned over the console, her voice quiet but filled with awe. "Ethan, what we did back there, it's incredible. Humans. We're no longer just another species in the galaxy. They'll respect us now." Ethan shook his head slightly, thinking ahead. Respect is not enough. They need to understand that humans are capable of survival, ingenuity, and courage that no one can match. They mocked us for centuries. Now we prove them wrong and we show them why humans endure. Liam, checking the engines, smiled broadly. And we've only just begun. This ship, it's more than any human-built vessel. We could defend colonies, explore unknown systems, even lead fleets. Ethan's gaze remained fixed on the stars. Yes, but first we must solidify our presence. We need to make sure humanity is no longer underestimated. The Zetrians and every other species need to see what humans are capable of. The warship lifted smoothly from the jungle planet, rising into orbit. Ethan activated a series of holographic displays showing star charts, nearby colonies, and trading routes. Humans had colonies scattered across several systems, most of them isolated, vulnerable, and unaware of the rising threat of alien domination. "We start with the nearest colonies," Ethan said. "We show them we are protected, that humans can defend themselves. Then, the galaxy will learn the truth." The crew worked tirelessly over the next days, testing every system, understanding every weapon, shield, and engine. Ethan led the exercises personally, ensuring that each action was precise and calculated. The warship responded instantly to human thought, every command executed flawlessly. Mia watched Ethan maneuver the ship during a simulated engagement. "It's like the vessel can read your mind. Humans, we're something else. I can't believe we're doing this." Ethan smiled faintly. "We survive, Mia, because we think. We adapt. We solve problems where others see none. And we never give up, no matter how impossible the odds seem. That's what this ship represents, human potential in its purest form." Suddenly, alarms flashed across the bridge. A message from a nearby human colony appeared, urgent and panicked. Pirates had attacked, raiding the outpost and threatening innocent lives. "Set course," Ethan said immediately. "We're going to show them that humans are not easy prey." The crew prepared the warship for full speed. Energy shields hummed, weapons aligned, and engines roared as they left the star system. Ethan guided the vessel with precision, avoiding gravitational anomalies and asteroid fields, demonstrating that human adaptability went beyond survival. It was mastery. As they approached the colony, Ethan saw the chaos. Small pirate ships swarmed the outpost, firing indiscriminately. Civilians ran for cover as explosions rocked the surface. Mia's eyes widened. "Ethan, they're going to destroy everything." Ethan's hands rested lightly on the controls. "Not if we act fast. Humans survive by thinking, not panicking. We calculate, we adapt, and we act decisively." The warship moved into position, its shields reflecting energy blasts from the pirates. Ethan activated precision weapons, disabling the pirate ships without harming the colony. The attackers scrambled, trying to escape, but the warship's systems anticipated every move, cutting off escape routes and neutralizing threats with surgical accuracy. Liam laughed with excitement. "We're cleaning up the galaxy, one problem at a time. Humans, we're unstoppable." Ethan shook his head with a small smile. "It's not about being unstoppable. It's about survival, intelligence, and courage. Humans endure because we adapt, even when the odds are against us. That is why we rise." The pirates were defeated, fleeing into deep space, leaving the colony unharmed. The civilians looked up in awe at the glowing warship, recognizing it as a symbol of human strength and ingenuity. A counselor from the colony communicated through hologram. Who are you? How is this possible? Humans, you're incredible." Ethan stepped forward, calm and firm. "We are humans. We survive, we adapt, and we rise above challenges. This is only the beginning. Protecting life, defending our people, and exploring the unknown are what we do best. The galaxy will know this, and no one will underestimate us again." The message spread quickly through human colonies. Stories of Ethan and the warship traveled faster than light, reaching every corner of human space. Once isolated colonies felt safer, united by the knowledge that humanity could protect itself. Meanwhile, beyond human space, other species began to take notice. The Zitrians, embarrassed by their earlier defeat, discussed strategy in tense meetings. "Humans. We underestimated them," one hissed. "They possess intelligence and courage we did not anticipate. We cannot ignore them again." Ethan knew that this attention was inevitable. "Let them watch," he said quietly to Mia. "We are humans. We survive by learning, by adapting, by rising. If they challenge us, they will regret it." Days passed as Ethan led the warship on a campaign of observation and protection. They visited colonies, ensured safety, and demonstrated precision power when necessary. Each mission proved the same point. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. And humans were more capable than any species had imagined. One night, as the warship floated in orbit above a human colony, Ethan gazed at the stars. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The galaxy will see humans differently, and we will continue to prove ourselves, not through fear, but through intelligence, courage, and determination." Mia joined him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "Do you think the Zitrians will try again?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, but this time they will know that humans are not easy prey. We survive, we adapt, we fight, and we rise. They can plan, attack, and intimidate, but humans endure. That is our greatest strength." Liam came up behind them, grinning. "You know, humans always get underestimated, and then we show up and change everything. I never get tired of that." Ethan smiled. "Exactly. It's not arrogance. It's reality. Humans survive. We overcome. We adapt. And now, the galaxy knows it." Weeks passed. News of human victories and the warship's power spread across multiple systems. Alien species began sending emissaries to learn about the humans, some out of curiosity, some out of fear. But Ethan welcomed it. Knowledge, communication, and respect were just as powerful as weapons. One day, a Zitrian representative appeared in orbit, cautious but respectful. "Human," the emissary said, "your species. We misjudged you. Your courage and ingenuity, it is beyond what we expected. We seek understanding." Ethan studied the Zitrian carefully. Understanding begins with respect and acknowledgement. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and rise above challenges. You may have mocked us, but now you have seen the truth. The Zitrian bowed slightly. "We will not underestimate humanity again." Ethan nodded. "Good. Let that lesson spread across the galaxy. Humans endure, humans adapt, and humans rise." The crew gathered around him, proud and exhausted. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and alien threats. They had discovered and mastered an ancient warship. And they had shown the galaxy that humans were not weak, fragile, or unprepared. Mia smiled, looking at Ethan. "We've done it. Humans. We're respected now. Feared even, maybe. But most of all, we're recognized for what we truly are." Ethan's gaze swept across the stars. "Humans were never meant to be ignored. We endure, adapt, and survive. That is who we are. That is what we prove every day. And now, the galaxy will see that humans are a force to be reckoned with." The ancient warship glowed softly, alive and powerful. It had waited for centuries, hidden, forgotten, until humans, Ethan and his crew, proved they were capable of commanding it. It represented human potential, human ingenuity, and the courage to rise when underestimated. Ethan looked at his crew, pride in his heart. "We have shown the galaxy what humans can do, but we must continue to rise. There will be challenges ahead, others who will doubt us, who will test us. But humans survive, humans endure, humans rise." The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown threats, challenges, and opportunities. But Ethan Harper, standing on the bridge of the ancient warship, knew humanity was ready. No longer underestimated, no longer ignored, humans had proven their potential. And so, humanity began its true rise in the galaxy. Not with arrogance, not with reckless power, but with intelligence, courage, and determination. The warship was awake, the crew was capable, and the galaxy had no choice but to recognize humans as a force unlike any other. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the hum of the warship beneath him. The future was uncertain, but humans were ready. They had survived every challenge, faced every mockery, and proven their worth. The galaxy had seen humans mocked, laughed at, and dismissed. Now it would see humans rise,